Welcome everyone, I'm Rodrigo Nascimento, Rocket.Chat CTO and co-founder, and your host on this weekly podcast where we talk about the news on the engineering areas from the past week. I'm here today with our apps engine leader, Douglas Gilbert.
Hello folks.
Our backend leader and co-founder, Diego Sampaio.
Hello.
Our cloud leader, Aaron Ogle.
Hello, hello.
Our front-end leader, Guilherme Gazzo.
Hello.
Our mobile leader, Diego Mello.
Hey guys.
And our Omnichannel product manager, Renato Becker.
Hey everybody.
So, we have many news to share this week, and as usual, we're going to start with the apps engine. So, Doug, what do you have to share with us?
Okie doke. So last week we've worked on some regressions and fixes for the 3.8 release candidate that is running. Also last week we found out that a community member already used the scheduler API to develop a reminder app. So shout out to the community member. It goes by the GitHub username of cross-ltd. That is very nice, and we are already using it to test the scheduler API on our open server.
Is it already on the marketplace? Not yet.
No, not yet. The apps engine version is not out yet, so.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Probably he's going to be a bit upset because we had to change a bit of the APIs that are running now, but nothing too major, and he'll be hearing from us soon, I think. Also, we're designing the permission system. We've investigated some of the new flows and how it will impact the app installation flow in Rocket.Chat. So there's that. And we'll be also investigating, probably for this whole month, a bug that happens for a long time on high availability clusters, where apps are randomly disabled and no one knows why. We've tried to find out the cause for this one before, but haven't had much success. We're going to try quite a few new strategies. We had some new metrics in place that might help us find out what's going on. So wish us luck. This is a nasty one, folks. And yep, that's pretty much it for this week.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, and good luck on that one. That's really hard to figure out. I tried sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, moving on. Backend, Diego Sampaio, what do you have to share?
Alrighty. So yeah, as Douglas mentioned, we are on the release candidate process for the release 3.8. We are already at the RC3, so we have found a few issues on many places. So we are still working on that to to get the release as stable as possible. And we decided to on this release to focus on the previous, like on the most common deployment method, which is obviously without using microservices because the code is not published yet. So, but while doing that, we got an event where we decided, we proposed to test this new code, the new infrastructure. So for this event, we are testing out the new microservices architecture. And the event was great, actually, because it helped us find some issues with this implementation. A few of them we have already fixed that I can share, which we have found that the system was publishing like duplicated events. So we have fixed that, and also we found that would be useful to have the concept of internal services. So we now have this concept implemented, so we can control which service will run on like each process. So we have how to fine-tune that, and the event overall is being great, that we can test that on a real production environment, which is like shown that is really challenged to be done. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's great. To be honest, like we were not prepared to start running the microservices on a production environment, but they had this challenge, and they're hosting this event on our cloud. So yeah, I'm happy that they agreed to run this beta version. So of course they could handle those many concurrent users. We don't know exactly how many yet, because since it's a beta, we don't have all the metrics on that yet. So we're going to have more details in the future. But it was a good experience to, as Diego mentioned, to fix some things that you would probably figure out in the future only. So it's speeding up the microservices development. What's great. Right, and unfortunately it was on the weekend and the holiday, but yeah, it's going on. It's going okay. Moving on, in cloud, Aaron, what are the news on your side?
Yeah, so last week we finished up the work on the marketplace worker that we had. So now all apps should be building successfully. We did, as we planned last week, help get the app CLI released, and then actually worked on fixing a bug that caused the apps not to submit for some reason. So that's fixed. The push cap, we pretty much finished up the implementation last week. Going into this week, we were actually going to finish actually making that live in passive mode, so it won't actually be enforcing, but it will let us run that. I think we actually have some news that'll be shared around PushCap in the forum later today, possibly tomorrow. So stay tuned for that if you're curious. Also, kind of around Push and Push Gateway. So we're still working on the EU Push Gateway, finalizing the plans there. Kind of with the cap and 2 different regions, it is a little bit more tricky. So we're trying to make sure we get that right. We're working on rebranding this week. So all the cloud services that are running and are using the Rocket.Chat logo, trying to make sure those are all updated. And then as Diego and Rodrigo both have already said, the event happening, this is actually hosted on cloud. So maintaining the infrastructure for that, deploying the microservices for the partner. And have to say it is a much better way of scaling to handle an event than the previous way of scaling. So very excited about the future here. That's it for me.
Great, thank you. And I think I really need to thank you, Aaron, and Diego Sampaio to help on this event and those problems with the microservices during the weekend and the holiday at this year in Brazil. So thank you guys. It's a good challenge. Right, moving on. Front end, Gazzo, what do you have to share?
Actually, the last week, the team was focused on regression since we released a big change on the sidebar. We faced a lot of small problems since Rocket.Chat has a lot of configurations and different settings, then sometimes even we don't have all the tests to cover all the variations. So the half of them was working on that, and the rest of the team we started to remove some libraries that we have been facing and fixing a lot of problems because of these libraries, and then we decided to develop our own library, since if you have to fix or work on the bugs, it is like better if you are like fixing for us, then we don't need to convince or force anyone to change some methods or any or like how the things work on the background. So we are like moving to these new libraries and removing some deprecated ones. Like the moment was deprecated, then we are like trying to move for something new. We are changing the event meters. Then now we have our own library. So we are trying to cover all the creating tests and guarantee that is everything fine. And we are preparing the team for the next steps. Then we want to start to rewrite the room and the whole interface. So we are planning the next steps, because it will be like a huge change. So that's it for this week.
Great, thank you. That's good improvements. The sidebar, we saw a lot of performance improvements, and I think it's nice to mention that now with this event they customized a lot of Rocket.Chat, and we kind of realized that virtual list, is that how we call that, virtual list on React?
It is not the library, but because there is a virtual list called in React called virtual list, but the idea is like virtualized list. And maybe nowadays we are using one more, it is simpler than others, but we are using this one. We are trying different ones to let maybe allow us to make like be more flexible when styles and things like that, because nowadays we have to provide the size of the row, the item. Then if you change the size using CSS or JavaScript, probably the list will like put the items in wrong position. And we are studying a better way to do that, and maybe not the point, but maybe develop our own solution, but not really. We have good options before develop our own solution. Probably it is not. We didn't call like a break change, but because we still support the layout colors, and people that change the Rocket.Chat using the interface will be fine. But probably if you have like any CSS, custom CSS, or any workaround that you make using the custom JavaScript, or probably check the code, and because we changed it, we are using auto classes generated, but we still left some classes, static class, to allow you to customize, but we changed a lot the structure, so it's almost impossible to guarantee that it will work. So sorry, but this is for a good reason.
Yeah, for sure. We are not like considering any of kind UI change or this refactoring's breaking change. We kind of consider only, for example, when you drop a support for a database, or drop some API, those kind of things are breaking changes. So this change may break some UI things, but should not break the Rocket.Chat itself. And what I'm talking about before was we realized on this customization from the event, they kind of tried to change the layout a little bit using CSS, and then the list was like scrolling as like a crazy thing, going up and down because it wasn't able to calculate correctly the sizes, because as Gazzo mentioned, it was expecting something and the CSS was changing that size, so it wasn't working correctly. So this kind of deep change where needing to change size of things or remove some things from the list, probably going to be requiring a fork. I don't know, but if you find a better way later, for sure we improve that.
Yeah, just since we are like in a place to share and discuss about thoughts, and we really want to allow the client, the users, not user for the chat, but the application to rewrite some components without touch the code, actually, just like using an API to I want to change the sidebar item, then you like overwrite the component. So maybe it will be a solution to let the customizations without like make conflicts in the comments and the whole like nowadays Blaze allow us to do that. Like if we use the same name for a different components, it will, one of them, the oldest one, will be like discarded. So we are planning to do something like that, because if you want just fork and install a package, we don't use package anymore, but for this case fit well, like then you can just install your custom package and rewrite the template. So it is something that we are, since nowadays we are like loading using a lazy load method to load them, we can like load different components. Then we are planning to do that.
Something probably possible in the future to use the apps engine as well, right? To register new components.
Yeah, maybe if we can reach this code from the apps, would be like feasible.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, thank you. Mello from mobile, what's going there?
Last week we finished the implementation of the tasks for 4.12. So new thread support was merged. The branding update was mostly done. It requires a version bump on the stars to be available for everyone, but I hope you guys enjoy a flashy colors for the new icons and splash screen. 4.11 was finally approved and released on F-Droid this weekend, which is awesome. It will also be updated on the next weeks to match 4.12. Plans for this week is to merge and review some contributions and release 4.12 beta later today for the official apps. We're also going to start working on 4.13. Current plans involves implementing SSL client certificate for Android. It's already done on the iOS for a while, and adding missing actions for the channel owner, like remove users from the room, set leaders, set owners, etc. 4.12 beta is landing as public version next week, and that's it. Thanks.
Awesome, thank you. I just updated my test flight one, and this blue icon is cute, right? But I'm missing
it's flashy.
Yeah, but it's okay. I'm missing kind of this gradient on the red one. I think it's not be that good in the blue one, but let's see. You're right. Omnichannel, Renato, what do you have to share this week?
Hi guys. So we don't have so many highlights this week. We had to spend some time fixing some issues that came along with the release candidate. So we had to spend some time looking into it. So all of those issues are supposed to be fixed. And so on the 360 dialog, we had to actually some customers were facing some issues on 360 dialog. For those who doesn't know what 360 dialog means, 360 dialog is a WhatsApp broker. So Rocket.Chat has an integration with 360 dialog, so companies can use this channel to reach out their customers and their audience. So having that said, neither WhatsApp users nor agents were able to send and receive emojis. So we fixed the problem, but they were also facing some issues related to file sharing. The same file was been sharing multiple times, so we found a way to fix the problem, and both issues are fixed, and those fixes they're coming out with the next release of this integration. The team is also working on some things on the Omnichannel admin area. They are not issues, but small enhancements and improvements. So this is still a work in progress. They unfortunately these fixes won't be part of the next release, just the next one. And regarding the roadmap, I've been working closely to the design team. We are designing new UI and UX improvements, new components that will replace the current ones. The idea is not just to replace the current components, but add UX improvements that will help agents to assist contacts, visitors, and so on. We are also designing 2 new features, omnichannel features. The first one is the ability to auto transfer chats based on agent inactivity. So the other one is kind of an on-hold queue, but we're still in the first stage of this implementation, so I'll probably have more details very soon. And that's it.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you. I think that's all. I have just to mention that the release, we are now on the release candidate 3, as Diego said previously, and we don't have a final date yet, as far as I know. We are trying to make that most stable as possible to be the final release. As we mentioned on the previous podcast, it's involving a lot of changes on the sidebars, a big change on microservices, a big change on other things, like the TypeScript compiler removal and other kind of things on this release. So probably going to delay a little bit more. So we expect to have something soon and to have a final release maybe for the next podcast. Let's see. On the team, this week we have just mentioned some people joining. On the product team, we have a new designer join. It's called Ray from Philippines. And on the backend team, we have Gabriel Tomé from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, joining on the Diego's team. And Ishhat is joining from India on the QA team as well. So we have many other positions open, so you can check on jobs.rocket.chat for the positions you have open there. And I think that's it. We are moving this podcast to another provider, so you may see duplicated podcasts in some providers like Spotify. But let's improve this for the next ones. So thank you all for listening. This is a weekly podcast. This podcast is available as video on YouTube and audio on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and others. And thanks for the Rocket.Chat's engineer team to make this possible. See you on the next episode.
See you.